Hey there, creepy peeps, and welcome to another Weird Wednesday video. That's right, you can't see my face because I'm going to show you guys my favorite DVDs collection that sits atop my DVD shelf. So we'll jump right into that. So this is the first stack of DVDs right here. There's two stacks. I didn't know if you could tell from that wide shot. But these include like some of my favorite horror movies, some of the first scary movies I've ever seen. So like Sleepy Hollow and The Strangers were one of the first scary movies I ever saw. The Strangers scared the bejesus out of me. I decided to watch it when I had the house to myself for a weekend, which was an awful idea. Don't ever do that. I also have my Blu-rays of Scream, which, as you all know, Scream is my favorite horror movie ever, and it's my favorite franchise, so I have all four of them up there. I also have A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1 and Friday the 13th Part 1 up there because no matter what your favorite one is in the franchise, the first one is always the best, isn't it? Like, let's be honest. I also have the Grindhouse double feature, Tarantino and Rodriguez, which I love those two movies. I just love that whole setup, that double feature. It's so cool. Also have Edward Scissorhands, The Cabin in the Woods, House of a Thousand Corpses, and 31. And Willow Creek, 31 and Thousand Corpses, my favorite Rob Zombie movies. My other favorite Rob Zombie movie is in this second stack, which is what we just cut to, which is Devil's Rejects, which is kind of in the middle of that stack there. And up top here we have Train to Busan, which has become a new favorite of mine. I can't speak enough about that movie. It's so goddamn good. We also have The Craft right below that. Who doesn't love that movie? Seriously. And then we have I Know What You Did Last Summer, which is definitely one of the first horror movies I've ever watched because I had and have still a huge crush on Freddie Prinze Jr. Don't care what anyone says. We also have right below that my two favorite and only favorite found footage horror movies, Blair Witch Project and Paranormal Activity. There's my Blu-ray of Trick or Treat. The non-Blu-ray is on the first stack. I'm not really sure why. And then we have movies like Battle Royale, which is probably my just favorite Japanese horror film ever. It's so much fun to watch. I have the remake of Evil Dead. I'm actually not sure where my original Evil Dead is, like the original film. Shit, maybe I loaned it out. Damn, I don't know. Right, so we have Twister up there as well, which is, I think, the very first scary movie I ever watched. I don't know if it's horror, but fuck, man, that movie still scares me to this day. We have Krampus, which, Michael Dougherty, he's one of my faves. I love that man so much. Yeah, and then right below that, we have some non-horror selections, which are my favorite. I think I'm going to cut to that soon or zoom in. I don't know. So you can see them better, but we have The Mummy, Brendan Fraser, which I've talked about before, Hocus Pocus, and A Nightmare Before Christmas. Nope, I guess I'm still focused up there. What you doing, Vic? You going to show the other movies soon? Maybe? I don't know. I'm just pointing at the other ones. Can you tell I'm doing this voice recording after I filmed it? Probably not the best idea. Okay, so now we're getting to the non-horror movies. So like I said, that's The Mummy, Stephen Sommers directed one, which is like my all-time favorite movie. It's got everything. I fucking love it. Hocus Pocus. There we go. Now I'm focusing in on that. Damn, this is a mess. A Nightmare Before Christmas, of course. Who doesn't love that movie? And we have Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure right below that, which me and my brother watched way too much as children, and it's probably warped our poor brains to this day. Probably killed off some brain cells watching that, but I don't care. It's a great movie. And then, of course, we have Beetlejuice right below that. The Sandlot, which was a huge part of my childhood growing up, that movie. Wayne's World right below that, which is easily probably my most quoted movie ever, like, from me. And then, of course, South Park, Bigger and Longer and Uncut. Fucking love South Park, grew up on that shit, and that's how I got to where I am today. And then over in this little random pile over here was just Detroit Rock City, which I've talked about before being one of my favorite movies. There's also Psycho and The Love Witch up there, which are some of my favorites as well. They're just in a random pile on my desk. So that was my favorite movies collection. I keep it separate from all my other DVDs because they're my favorite and they're the most watched. So I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see me maybe redo my movie collection video because I crap that out, let me know in the comments. And until next time, stay strange. Bye!